YouTube. Now, I've been switching in between these two, and I think I may have made my final switch finally. I've been back and forth. I was here first, and then I went here, and then I switched, and then I switched, and then now I'm like up in the air because honestly, I could almost go either or, but that's not what this video is about. This video is ultimately going to be about which one I chose. So let's break it down. YouTube. This decision is tougher than you would think because there's an obvious winner, but then there's the one that has won over the hearts of many tech enthusiasts. Where do you land? Do you go with the best iPhone that Apple has produced to date with all of the pro features, the whole kit and caboodle, or do you go with the convenient, nice, minimalistic iPhone Air? Let me tell you right off the bat, this is not an easy decision for me. This is the best pro model iPhone to date. That in turn makes it a tough decision because you have something that we know that's familiar that has grown to become even better, and then something that no one really asked for, but some people ran to it with open arms. Now, I want to debunk right off the bat a lot of misinformation that was spread about the iPhone Air. Just because it has the smallest battery, people thought it would be the worst battery. That's not true. It actually has better battery than the iPhone 17. It beat it in a very scientific battery drain test from Phone Buff. That drain test is my favorite test that I like to look at. So very shocking. And in reality, when using this device, the battery was decent. It was solid. You have to charge it every day. That's just the reality. Well, when you get on the 17 Pro Max, I could be very lax and lollygaggy about my charging. Do it the next day. I don't have to charge overnight, none of that stuff. I don't have any battery anxiety. But I wanted to dispel that myth about the battery on here. There were a lot of myths. In the beginning, everyone was questioning the durability. This thing is the most durable iPhone to date. So let me cut the fluff. For those of you who want to know, the better device is obviously the 17 Pro Max. Better cameras, pro offerings, the whole kit and caboodle, but there are some trade-offs to that. This is the biggest, thickest, and heaviest iPhone to date, but it also has the biggest battery to date. So it's a lot of like, you have to weigh out your reality around carrying these devices every day. That's exactly why I waited and I use these devices for an extended period of time, because my user experience, now I can speak to these very fluidly. Carrying around the iPhone Air on a day-to-day basis is by far one of my most favorite devices or iPhones to date to do that with. It's very convenient as someone who tends to carry two devices. You know, my Z Fold 7 stays in the pocket. So this as a sidekick to the Z Fold 7 was absolutely perfect. But the reality, the single speaker was kind of my biggest pain point with this device. I was able to get along without having the ultra wide and the telephoto, but in all reality, that ultra wide, I can understand why a lot of people will not compromise on ultra wide, because you know the wide is a pretty tight shot on this device. It's great, 48 megapixels and whatnot, and I'm going to show you guys camera comparisons in between these two. But you know the ultra wide just gives a lot more convenience in everyday capture. So my biggest pain point was the mono speaker on the iPhone Air. That's a tough one for me. Unless I'm watching TikTok, that's a tough one. The second I turn that device to a horizontal orientation like this, oh my goodness, does it go out the window for me from an audio perspective. And I'm big on audio, being a trained audio engineer. So one more myth to dispel. Can you live with just one single camera and that's super dope front selfie camera that has, you know, not only vertical but horizontal video? Absolutely. You can do just fine. The pain point for a lot of you is going to be in zooming and the lack of a ultra wide capture. But speaking of cameras, let's get straight into it. I want to show you guys the sauce. So let me go outside and show you guys what these can actually do. All right, shooting 4K 60 on both of these. I got the 17 Pro Max in my right hand and the just drew a blank iPhone Air in my left hand, right? Now, the funny thing is both of these have the exact same front-facing camera, but the difference is when you go pro, you get things like log. And when you don't go pro and you go Air, you just get whatever you get out of the Air. So that's the difference that you guys are gonna be able to see in between these two. Okay, now moving into being able to shoot horizontal while I'm still holding these vertical. This is absolutely clutch. The biggest difference here is log on the 17 Pro Max versus no log on the iPhone Air. Let me know down in the comment section below what's the difference. Is it pro or is it a no? Okay, so as I said before, 48 megapixels is the megapixel count that you can expect, but I don't believe that these are the exact same 48 megapixel wide angle cameras. I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comment section below, because you guys know everything. There's a definite separation in between the two. I'm shooting both 4K 60, but we have a log, and you can get up to ProRes RAW on the 17 Pro Max if you want to get nasty with it, versus you just have standard camera app functionality on the Air. Limiting, I don't know, it depends on you, but outside of all of that, both are great. And just to show how great both are, I'm capturing the iPhone Air with the 17 Pro Max in Apple Log. Just a quick little shot, just to show you guys something different other than the face. Show you guys like product capture, which is really, really nice. I am in the shade. There is light out today, but I'm just in a shaded shot. It's daytime though, so you know. All right, and here's a product shot of my 17 Pro Max. And the reason this thing is kind of rigged out like this is because the advantage to having a pro device is you get pro accessories. I can put an ND filter on here and improve the overall capture, which with the iPhone Air, very much limited. But so far, I've only been showing you guys just the raw camera usage. I'll do one more, pull out the ND filter, show you guys that. Okay, so right here we have an ND filter versus no ND and log versus no log, as far as, you know, 17 Pro Max goes in my right hand and the 17 Air in my left hand. Anyways, hit the comment section down below and let me know how you guys feel about these. Woo! Okay, you guys saw the camera comparison in between these two. It's not a surprise that one is better than the other, subjectively and objectively, obviously. The iPhone Air can service a ton of you. Matter of fact, the majority of you, but there are a lot of people who have those, you know, connections to the ultra wide, my regular iPhone users, and then the snobs who want the telephoto. Hit the comment section down below and keep it funky about the cameras. Okay, so before I tell you guys which one of these devices is my personal pick and which one aligns with me the most, I got a quick words from today's video partner. Ever feel like your meetings just disappear into thin air? You capture everything, but somehow the important stuff gets lost in hours of audio. What if I told you something the size of a coin could be the absolute answer to all of your worries? And this can change everything. Meet the SOUNDCORE Work, the world's first coin-sized AI voice recorder that's about to revolutionize how you handle meetings. This tiny powerhouse weighs just 10 grams, but packs incredible features that'll make you wonder how you survive without it. The game changer here is the double tap marking technology. When someone says something crucial, just tap the device twice. It creates a haptic feedback confirmation and automatically highlights that moment in your transcription later. No more endless scrolling through recordings trying to find the good stuff. The AI transcription hits up to 97% accuracy with automatic speaker identification. It captures conversations from up to 5 meters away, so even when you're wearing it, it picks up everyone in the room clearly. But here's where it gets really smart. The AI summarization feature offers over 25 templates that automatically match your content type, whether it's a business meeting, creative session, or study group. It knows exactly how to organize your information. Ultra portable with 3 wearing options. Clip it on, wear it as appended, or attach it magnetically to your phone. One press starts recording instantly. No fumbling with apps or unlocking phones. Privacy covered. Military-grade encryption keeps your data secure on Amazon Web Services. Plus, it works with Apple's Find My, so you'll never lose it. Ready to transform your productivity? Use code SOUNDCOREAI for $35 off and get 6 months of Pro membership free. Moving beyond cameras, the next reality in between these two is your user experience on the day-to-day, what it's like to carry either of these devices. I'm gonna tell you like this, both are absolutely amazing. What a great year for iPhones this year. I don't care if you think I'm glazing, this is the reality. Yes, there's some controversies, in my opinion, from my user experience, just myths and false gates around the 17 Pro Max. You know, I'm typically caseless on this thing the majority of the time, and as you guys can see, I'm not seeing any of that scratch gate nonsense. My colors are absolutely the exact same from the day that I purchased it. And I want to say this, in a very dark environment with like a light shining at it, it does have a different hue to it. All colors do. So, you know, blown way out of proportion. Then you come to the iPhone Air. Man, holding this thing in your hand and carrying this device day to day is an experience. The screen, amazing. So there's no real true like major pain points outside of the ones that I just spoke about. But the everyday carry of something so thin is just, I don't know, it's like an experience. But again, experiences wear off. And that's leading me to where I think we are as a collective in the tech space and just the public, and realizing the fact that what we had and what we've been developing in the regular iPhone as well as the Pro and Pro Max model is all that we need. No one asked for a super slim, one of the best designed iPhones. No one asked for this. And it seems that no one's really sold on it. But some of you are. And let me say this, for you who will embrace the single camera, for you who are willing to embrace the battery, which is not bad. You got top, you got the mid, and then the bottom is the iPhone 17 as far as battery life goes, period. With that being said, that just puts this literally where it is placed. iPhone 17, the Air, and then the Pro and Pro Max. You know, people always want to talk about price, but none of you guys pay full retail. Some of you guys do. Now, Apple, let me just say this to you guys. Going forward, the only way you guys can move this forward, if you do continue to, you have to add an ultra-wide camera. And if you can, make this taller, squeeze a little bit more battery in there, and do stereo speakers. And literally you will have the phone of the year, I feel like, because it's just a nice shift to have a phone so light, still well built, still delivering on performance. Now, in that area of performance, this is a reality that separates these two from a real world user experience, is heat. This thing gets hot right here. It is titanium and it does still hold heat. It doesn't do the heat dissipation like the 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max full aluminum unibody, which, by the way, giving props to Apple this year, this is a very well designed Pro device. Anyone hating on this device, you're just a pure hater. I can understand and respect some of the hate on the Air. Like, I'll put it to you that way. The hate on here, absolutely not warranted. Hate here, I can understand it. Or like the dislike, let me not say hate, but some of the people, you know, there's haters out there, let's be real. But a lot of people in the beginning, before this thing was even in hand and over extended use, just made these preconceived notions about this device, and they were absolutely wrong. With that being said, here's where we land. Cameras, obviously, 17 Pro Max all day. Speakers, 17 Pro Max all day. Screens, tit for tat. You could go either or with the screen here. Now, design and build quality, let's be honest, iPhone Air is the better built and the better designed iPhone. This one is subjective, objective, the color choices, and yeah, the look is not a favorite to everyone, but to be honest, I choose utility over visuals when it comes to these devices, although I feel like the 17 Pro Max looks just fine to me. Now, user experience, that's where things get tricky, because for some of you, the iPhone Air's user experience is more delightful and more pleasing than the user experience of the 17 Pro Max. This is a big, hefty, large device. It's not for everyone. Even if you go 17 Pro, it's still, you know, got some chunk and some weight to it. So that's why this, from a user experience, everyday carry, from a minimalist, from I just want something light in my pockets. I wear sweatpants a lot and basketball shorts. I'm a, you know, athletic person by nature, and that's how I've always dressed, and that's what I prefer to wear. This favors me more in everyday carry from that perspective. And if you're similar, if you wear suits, linen, all that loose type, you know, light type of clothing, this device fits in your pocket better and wears better. But is that worth the trade-offs? Because ultimately, we've known the Pro Max style, you know, iPhone. We've grown to appreciate and love it. It's gotten even better. This is the best battery of any iPhone. Oh my goodness, you guys. The best performance. Oh my goodness, you guys. The best iPhone. So why compare? But the real question, honestly, after using these for such a long time, is which one will actually ultimately get my SIM card? Which eSIM will live with my main number in it? I'm gonna be honest, that question is still a question mark. Right now, currently, it's the 17 Pro Max, but that may switch in the future, and I will let you guys know. Initially, iPhone Air had me 100% all the way in, and then I had to balance my usage over time. So I made sure the 17 Pro Max, actually the 17 Pro Max was the first device with the eSIM. Then we went into the Air. And then after doing and fulfilling the Air challenge, I went back to the 17 Pro Max. And ultimately, personally, for me, which device is more tailored towards me, even though I'm very much intrigued by the iPhone Air, I'm a iPhone 17 Pro Max user.